Hello, my name is Jennifer and I am with Midland Center for the Arts. I'm part of the education team. So we have our final week of our virtual summer camp programs, and this week we are exploring sculpture and jewelry. So what is a sculpture? A sculpture is a three-dimensional piece of artwork. So it has a width, it has a length, and it has a height. So think about something that's three-dimensional. It might be something like these scissors, right? They have a width, they have a length, and they have a height. All right, so for our first project, we are going to be inspired by a 20th century Swiss artist. So he was a sculptor, a printmaker. He did all kinds of things. He was a draftsman, and he created these really unique looking sculptures. So let's take a look at one of his sculptures. So this is his work from 1947, and it's called Man Pointing. So this is by Alberto Giocometti. What do you notice about this work of art? Does this look like a person that you would see in real life? For me, it looks like all of his features, like his legs and his arms, are really elongated. So they look really long and really narrow. So we can actually create our own work of art inspired by him. And all we need is aluminum foil and some scissors. Pretty easy. So to get started, you are going to go ahead and cut off a piece of aluminum foil about this long. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Bring it around here. And it doesn't have to be cut perfectly. It works just fine because we're going to scrunch it all together. So now you are actually going to use this kind of template that I made to make your cuts in your foil. And this might be kind of hard to see. But I have a head at the top and two cut lines. Next to it are going to be the arms. Then we're going to cut it again. The middle section is going to be the torso, and the bottom two are going to be your legs. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting. I'm going to start with cutting out the head. So for the head, I am going to cut about 3 inches from the corner towards the center, but not all the way to the center. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. All right. Now, about halfway down my aluminum foil, I'm going to cut towards the center again, but I'm going to leave about 3 inches where I don't cut all the way through. Okay. I'm going to do the other side. All right, and for the last cut that we're going to make, I'm going to come from the bottom of my foil right here, and I'm just going to cut up towards the middle to about this point. So again, we want to leave a big space in the middle. That's going to be the torso of your sculpture's body. All right. So all of the cuts are made, so now is the fun part. All you're going to need to do is squish the aluminum foil together to create the head, the arms, the legs, and the body. And foil is really neat because it will make our sculpture flexible. So we can explore different movements using our sculptures. We can even have somebody pose for us in front of us, and we can practice moving our sculpture to fit that pose. So I'm going to start with the head, and all I'm going to do is scrunch it all together to create a head-like form. There's my head. Okay, now I'm going to do the arms. I'm going to scrunch part of it towards the center to help create the body, and the other part I'm going to scrunch really narrow to create an arm and a hand. There we go. Okay, I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side. I'm going to put some of it towards the body, and some of it I'm going to scrunch to create another arm. And foil's pretty flexible, so you can kind of move it around and sculpt it and shape it, so it kind of looks like what you're aiming for. All right, so there's my other arm and hand. He's waving hello. All right, all I have left to do, see the body's kind of normally forming. So as you're creating and squishing that foil to the center, it's making that body. So now we just have to make our legs. And then you're just gonna squish them all together to create a leg. Make a little foot. And if you would like to, after you're done making your sculpture, you can always hot glue it with an adult's help onto a piece of cardboard or some other kind of base, so that way your sculpture can stand up. All right, so now I'm doing the last leg here. And if something looks wider or uneven, it's really easy just to kind of push it down. Foil is very forgiving. All right, voila. We have our Giocometti inspired sculpture. So you can try bending its arms. You can make it have a little bit of an attitude with his hand on his hip, waving hello. He can even sit down if you want to bend his knees. So have fun creating your sculptures and make sure to share it with us. We would love to see your works using hashtag MakeArtVirtual. We'll see you again soon.